The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. Ely City Council meeting, October 28th, 2021.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dave Costello is supposed to be here for the invitation? No, I don't see him tonight, so. We will move on with the roll call.
Mayor Robertson.
Present?
Councilman Plegis.
Present.
Councilman Carson.
Here.
Councilman Spear.
Here.
Councilman Allward.
Yep.
Councilwoman Williams Harper.
Here.
City Clerk Lee is absent tonight. City Treasurer HR Director Trask. Here. City Attorney Cahoon.
Here.
Public Works Supervisor Craycraft.
Here.
City Engineer Alberg.
Here.
City Fire Chief Stork.
Here.
City Police Chief Henright.
Here.
City Municipal Court Judge Coster is on by Zoom. And that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item 2 then, for public comment. Please state your name for the record. You'll have 3 minutes.
My name is Marietta Henry. I live at 2375 Island Drive. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Tourism and Recreation Board. I'm here to address under new
Can you pull the
business.
mic down just a little bit?
Okay, I'm here regarding big new business. Item 3, Council declined this discussion for possible action approval to move forward with the increase of the percentage collected by City of Ely from transient lodging tax. White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board reinvests over half of the room tax collected immediately back into the community. In addition to the $703,000 in distributions right off the top to the city, the train, the state, and the golf course, of which the City of Ely and the Nevada Northern Railroad receive a lion's share of the room tax. City of Ely received $315,000 in fiscal year 2021. Nevada Northern Railroad received $285,000 in fiscal year 2021. I am most proud of the community-based programs, including our local grant program, which distributes an additional $195,000 to the community via aid to organization, capital improvements, and outdoor recreation. We also invest $107,000 into community-based line items that benefit the city and the community: public art, historic asset preservation, White Pine Main Street, White Pine Public Museum, new event incubation. I'm also proud of the marketing service we provide for the community: posters, brochures, social media, press releases, photography, and video services, to name a few. Between the grant program and the marketing services, White Pine County Tourism and Recreation benefits over 150 businesses, organizations, attractions, and events. We're proud of the work that we do for the community and consider ourselves a great partner for the City of Ely. If there are any ways we can work together to further the city of Ely more, we are always willing to come to the table to discuss that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Real quick. Patty, just read us on the hard copy of that.
Okay, Kyle Horvath, Director of Tourism for White Pine County. For the record, speaking in regards to item 8B3, moving forward with taking more money from tourism, I think this was a surprise to everybody to see this on the agenda, but I take this as a great opportunity to celebrate what tourism has contributed to this community. White Pine County Tourism has been a great partner to the City of Ely. In addition to the monetary benefit and room tax distribution, we've partnered on bathroom renovations at Broadbent Park, the bleacher repainting for Independence Day, and the Traveling Vietnam Wall. We conducted a community survey for the Broadbent Park renovations and letters of support for all of the city projects that you've asked for, as well as the OHB brochure, to name a few. When I took this position 4 years ago, I was very excited to have the opportunity to carry on the rich tourism history that was set forth by my predecessor. And I look forward to playing a role in developing this community. And I think my team and I have. At 65% occupancy, tourism is estimated to bring in $60 million in taxable sales annually from overnight visitors alone. And with Ely having most of the economic activity, it's a huge economic engine to the city. Of the $1.9 million collected in room tax in fiscal year 2021, $1 million was distributed directly back into the community. Of that, $703,000 was distributed right off the top to the city of Ely, Nevada Northern Railway, the golf course of Travel, Nevada. 5 years ago, the city of Ely increased the room tax to 13.5%, one of the highest in the state. It also increased its percentage taken to 2.5 points. That equates to 18.5% of all room tax collected in the city of Ely goes directly back to your guys' budget. That's higher than what the city of Las Vegas gets, the city of Reno, the city of Carson City. In fiscal year 17-18, we cut a check for $158,000. In fiscal year 2021, it was $315,000. That's a $157,000 increase since I've been here. It's also 3 times what the city of Sparks receives out of their transient occupancy tax. The Nevada Northern Railway did receive $285,000 last year, and we are on a record pace this year, so expect to receive more in this fiscal year that we're currently in. We do have an amazingly impactful local grant program set forth by my predecessor, and because of the Aid to Organization grant, the Capital Improvement grant, and the Outdoor Recreation grant, we distribute $195,000 annually to local organizations and events. As Mariette said, we also distribute $107,000 in the community-based line items like public art, historic asset preservation, the public museum, Main Street, and new event incubation. And divesting from tourism now is going to take away from those community programs and that community support. The remaining budget is just operational expenses. It's utilities, it's payroll, but it's also the marketing that we do for this community, the promotion of all the attractions, events, designing of the posters and brochures, social media and traditional marketing, printing, video, photography, and press releases, to name a few. This year alone, we've worked with 150 local businesses, organizations, and attractions, and I have to say I'm extremely proud of what we've been able to accomplish for this community.
Director Barnett.
If there's anything we're missing, I would look forward to working with you in the future to move this city forward.
And we'd be happy to have you or the vice president up during the item if there's other questions from the board. Or
I will be here.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, can we turn up the volume for some of these people? Not everybody talks as loud as Kyle does. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda, item 8B3, you're considered to move forward with an increase to the percentage collected by the city of Ely from transit lodging tax. The city needs to live within its means. You're not effectively accounting for the revenue you may receive now. The council turned down a proposal from Arclus Energies that would have given you $700 a day just across the railroad tracks and possibly supply you with the so-called information that you needed or you were seeking. The council has yet to respond to my request for public information regarding the investment of tens of thousands of dollars from the railroad. I'm still waiting. The council and the railroad has yet to collect track rental from S&S Shoreline for the last 15 or 20 years. The railroad does not operate under the Nevada open meeting law, and it received between $300,000 to $400,000 for room tax money. Just take some from them. They have reached enough from the city. It's time for them to pay back. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda, item 8B4, you're to consider establishing a one-way traffic on Mill and Murray Street. I'd like to know if the residents living on those streets petition for that option. If not, then the suggestion should be dropped, and Mr. Flanagan should consider becoming code compliant with his property on High Street before he encumbers others with selective enforcement of city codes under color of law. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda, item 8B5, you're to consider solutions for traffic visibility on the corner of Mill Street and Altman, but you have the same concern on 5th and Altman as well as 6th and Altman. No real difference. Mr. Mayor, the water taps on my family's property located at 729, 733 Great Basin Boulevard have not been put in the front of the property. If they've been put in, again, I can't locate them or the meter pits, and I need to be shown where they're at. The sewer tap at 729 Great Basin Boulevard has not been put in front of the property. The city and the state MDOT are not following code. Service must be in front of the property, not down the street in front of the adjoining lot, in front of the access coming off of Great Basin Boulevard. Also, at 475 Great Basin Boulevard, in front of one of my family's properties, the vibration has caused a water leak, and it's only getting worse, Mr. Mayor. State MDOT needs to address that. Mr. Mayor, I've requested a complete list of all parking permits that the city of Eden, Nevada, NDOT has given to those along Great Basin Boulevard. I've yet to receive those. I was told I need one to park alongside of my property. I've never heard of that. I think that's selective enforcement. I'm taking pictures of all the other properties that are allowing parking alongside their, or behind their sidewalk. I want the discrimination to stop. I want the corner of 7th, Avenue G and Great Basin Boulevard rectified.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick.
I need some answers, Mr. Mayor. This is not the first time I brought it up.
Any other public comment?
Hi, Terry Forboff, 994 Murray Street. Just about agenda item 4 and 5. Personally, I am against this so-called one-way down in front, but personally, I would also suggest that maybe this item be at least, for the very, very least, tabled until our street is actually paved. I don't see the need for it. I drive up and down Ogden, Ely, Fay on a regular basis. We have the same problems there where the street is narrow. You have a larger vehicle, you have to kind of wait to the side and let a smaller one pass, no big deal. I don't think our town is populated enough to make that to be a huge problem. I think we're all pretty nice to each other and kind of make it work. But at the very least, right now, with the fact that our street is even paved or have curbs and gutters, maybe this could be pushed off to a later date and time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to item 3. Mayor discussion for possible action, approval of agenda, including removal of agenda items. I'll entertain a motion on this.
So moved.
Motion from Councilman Carson, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Hall, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We move on to item 4, city department reports. We'll start with the fire chief.
Nothing more to let you give me any questions?
Doesn't appear there's anything at the moment. Thank you. Police chief.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Municipal court judge, Judge Coster, we have your report here. Do you have anything to add?
I wanted to let you know that we've started the move process, Mr. Mayor and council members, into the new building. I think that, as one might expect, there's some technical bugs being worked out, phone lines, internet service, and what have you. So it's unclear if we will recommence court on Tuesday in the new building as originally planned, though I know Elizabeth Francis is working and will inform us of our electronics, hopefully by midday tomorrow. I didn't hear from her today. Should there be any big problem, of course, I'll let Jennifer know, but we're prepared to go either way, a delayed move or a move that gets us in there and up and running on Tuesday. We just learned of this yesterday, actually, but it's generally under control.
Okay. Any questions for the judge? Thank you, Judge Coster.
Thank you.
City attorney.
Mayor, I have one other thing that trying to go back to me.
Do you mind? Go ahead.
Can I get it?
Yep.
Lost my train of thought for a minute there, look, I think. Just one update that I do got right now, the one worker that we do got out that's on SIS leave right now, did stop in this last week, I think it was. Pretty confident he's probably gonna have to end up with a back surgery before it's all said and done, so I don't see that subject probably not being back at the earliest until maybe February, March. So I know the overtime thing has been an issue, and I have no option right now other than to keep backfilling that shift with him. And with our open position right now, to date, we've got it listed at State EMS, we've got Truckee Meadows Community College, the Fire Academy, we've got it at the Fire Marshal's office, it's listed on Job Connector, everywhere else, and to this point, we've had 0 applicants. So struggle's real for everywhere. It's not just us, you know, because you know what happened with our last applicant that just got hired at the last meeting already. So we're still trying, hoping to get somebody in. I did got one prospect that's in the volunteers now that is going to be completing his advanced EMT that is interested, that may be able to at least be an applicant to look at. So.
And you and I had discussed privately, but possibly KSL job classified.
Yeah, so I was gonna get with Jeanette, Monday, and we'll try and brainstorm some other places, you know, the problems we ran into in the past. You know, we advertised on Indeed, and we got people from New Jersey and everything else, and they have no intent whatsoever of moving out here, you know, so, it's just, you know, you get people that are filling it in for their unemployment and stuff for the most part, so. And it was, you know, it's fairly spendy, so I don't know that it was money well spent, but, we're still looking, so.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you. City attorney.
Nothing here for it.
Okay. City clerk.
Jennifer left her report. Mayor Robertson and city council members, complaints, Administrative Assistant Cobb and I, assisted by Public Works Supervisor Craig Kraft, continue to manage the 85 complaints my office has received this year. To date, we have sent 69 letters, received 38 responses, and 51 property owners have complied. Donations, the Nevada Northern Railway Foundation donated $500 towards the security and beautification of Jack Taylor Park. Grants, last Friday, the Governor's Office of Economic Development judged our Parker Avenue Sewer and Bell Avenue Water projects CDBG eligible, so those applications can now be approved for final submission at the November 18th City Council meeting. Final work on the SNPLMA Round 19 grant application for Broadband Parks redesign is being completed this week for submission by White Pine County next Friday. And I am still working with a BLM grants officer in Reno on the city's green up application. Training, I attended Pool Pack's annual HR conference in Reno with City Treasurer Trask last week. Presentations of particular interest to me included cybersecurity and best planning practices. Broadband, I virtually attended the Governor's Office of Science, Innovation, and Technology Broadband 102 training yesterday.
Thank you.
We got one question.
Yeah.
Attorney can probably answer. On the nuisance letters, she sent out 69 letters, 51 people have complied. Do you know the status of 18, or is it in process, or?
It would be in process, yeah. Additional measures have to be taken up after that notice. So.
Thank you.
City treasurer. Okay. City public works supervisor.
Any questions?
Don't think so. Doesn't look like it anyway. City water operator, city engineer.
Yesterday, our guy that deals with our skater was back in town, so he's got Terrace Well running, and so as soon as staff gets back from being off of Friday or whatever, we'll get that Terrace Well up and running in auto. And that will, through the winter time, I believe that'll actually keep our breaker street probably if we even turn on during the winter time. So that'll be a needed break. We're also compiling, as part of, Jennifer requested some of this stuff, so for our negotiations with the mine, RNMC on our water, is to compile water usage. When we started this thing, we had some done from 2017, 2018, and so we're basically bringing it back up in the future up here and try to get them all together. So we're working through that. And it's sometimes it's a little hard because it doesn't show through SCADA, so we gotta get through meter readings and some multiple different avenues that gotta come through to get it, so we're gonna compile it there. The other thing is, we were requested to compile some costs for some art projects for your guys' city art funding. Coordinate that with Mike and Carl. We completed all those and we just turned it back into City Hall today. And so those will be coming up, I believe, from the budget committee next week, whatever you guys need to do. There is one that we haven't gone over yet. One thing that Jennifer wants to do is look at some costs of putting meters to more of the citizens out there to try to get the city up on the meter system. So we still got to follow those costs. That's the last thing that's kind of one of those costs. And Murray Street, they're pouring some more curb and gutter. They're framing up working today. Unfortunately, the weather on the obviously delayed a little bit this week, and so I anticipate that hopefully it's dried out enough that they'll start hauling in some more material tomorrow. Hopefully through the weekend.
Is there a deadline for paving still tomorrow, or is it Monday?
Well, I mean, I assume the weather's probably doing some things, so yeah, no, I would say it was tomorrow. I believe the extension that was provided was for them to complete the concrete work for the 30 days. they were still supposed to get the paving completed, which was tomorrow. But weather pending, so yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. City building official. We'll move on to item 5. Report city council. We'll start with Councilman Fleming.
Yes, I do have a report. I'd like to let the council know that a week from tomorrow on Friday, I do believe, did you say the 8 a.m. or what time it would be at the civic center?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Past Mayor Chauncey Echeverry, who was mayor of the city of Lee for over 3 terms, his wife passed away, and we're going to bury her here. And I do believe that we, as the city council, recognize the fact of all the good work that he did within our community, and also being the chairman of the Nevada League of Cities for many years in Carson City. But he has such a big love for his hometown, so he's bringing, and his wife, bring her here to be buried. And I think it'd be a compliment from us to him to send him a note or attend the funeral service if possible. That's about all I have to report at this time.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Fleming. Councilman Carson.
No report.
Councilman Spear.
I just wanted to have you report with Pat here. I attended a table workshop, kind of, let's say, planning deal, and it was, I gotta tell you that Pat did an impeccable job. Had he not brought stuff to that meeting to do this drill, wouldn't have had nothing happen. I mean, Pat was on top of everything. He brought facts, numbers, he knew the program, and it was amazing that what the work he did. But from that committee, he was the one that's leading and driving it. So I wanted to tell him that, but he ran away just now. I guess he was one of them asked for him to come home or something. But anyway. That's all I have to say is that Pat's done a great job with that.
Thank you. Councilman Olson.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, last week the mayor and I met with a representative from Noresco. It's a company that's involved in technology, new technology. They're working with the school district right now. And they give us a pretty good sales pitch on building modifications. All of it's got to do with energy saving type stuff. We give her some information on the solar system at the firehouse, both the electric side of it plus the heating. They have big influence in wastewater treatment plant operations. And we're already into a process of LED lighting, which is working out good, but they also have ideas on how to cut lights. And one of the newest things, you walk in, the room light comes on, you walk out. It's all about little things that add up into big things. So that was a well-received, both the mayor and I, and we had contacted her to League of Cities, so we'll be getting further information out as it develops. She's also working, White Pine County has also contacted her, dealing with some of their building plans they have in the future too for input. That's all I got.
Thank you. Good job. Councilwoman Williams-Harper.
Probably I would just like to say I'm glad to see that Jennifer enjoyed the information she received on cybersecurity. I know that you've heard me say that I think that that's important, so I'm probably going to talk with Jennifer a little bit to find out the information that she had in conjunction with the information that we gleaned from League of Cities. I know we're small and we think sometimes those things can't happen to us, but we're actually doing the type of work, and because of our size, where something like that would just really hurt our city. So I think it's something that we should pay attention to in the near future.
Thank you. For my report, together with Councilman Spear, we attended the grand opening of the new Justice Center for the county. That was on Wednesday. And as you recall, the city did donate some land to the county for that, so they could secure USDA funding. Wasn't mentioned, but I think it was an admirable thing that the city did. And we're proud to participate with the county in that. It's a beautiful facility, and Judge Coster and the ladies up there at the municipal court have just some A1 accommodations now. You remember they were kind of shoehorned into that box there over at the Justice, or at the Public Safety Building, and now they have a really nice office and a really nice courtroom, and we're glad we participated with the county on that, I think. But the city did participate in that, and I'd just like to put that on the record and let those listening in the room know, and remind the council of that. We also had the AG here for the state last night and this morning with his staff, toured them around Ely a little bit, and caught up on some things with the attorney regarding the opioid lawsuit that we'll be able to talk about. A few other things. It was nice they came out and visited, and that's all I have to report today. With that, we're a little bit before 5:30, so we will move on to item 8, items for discussion and possible action only of the Ely City Council. The consent agenda, we have minutes from September 23rd, and looks like bills from October 14th and October 18th. Any questions or clarifications on that, or a motion to approve both?
One comment, Mr. Mayor. As past member of the Ely Volunteer Fire Department, I'll disclose that, and I looked at the minutes and also the bills. I see everything looks good. I don't think I have any conflict with any of that.
Great. Anything else?
I'll hold on.
Motion to approve from Councilman Allworth. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Councilman Spear. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And we're meeting for a few people to show up for the early items. So we'll move on to B, new business. Item 2, Mayor Robertson, discussion for possible action, reappointment of Municipal Utility Board Member Dale Burbidge with a term through December 31st, 2025. His term was up, and he expressed the willingness to be reappointed. So,
Did you send a letter or anything?
I just spoke to him on the phone, and he said he would be happy to do another term.
Okay, thank you.
with that, I would recommend we reappoint him. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion from Councilman Carson. Do I have a second? Second from Councilwoman Williams Harper. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried as ordered. Item 3, Councilman Flangus. Discussion for possible action, approval to move forward with an increase to the percentage collected by the city of Ely from the transient lodging tax. Councilman Flangus, is there anything you'd like to preface on?
Yes, the reason for this being on the agenda is I feel as though with the fact that the city of Ely does not receive proper taxation or funds from the proper taxation of property tax and whatnot, and the county gives us a token amount. But on the other hand, we have all of this area of the city of Ely that is going downhill per se because of lack of funds to develop and encourage new business, more tourism and whatnot in our community. So I'm looking at the fact that tourists and whatnot also travel on our roads. They use our parks, they use our facilities and everything else. And so therefore, I'd like to see if between the Fair Board, their funds, and the city of Ely to beautify the community in more ways than one, pave streets, build chuckles, remove the ugly weeds on the main street, on people's properties and whatnot, and try to make a better looking community. I've had comments from tourism, from people that were tourists years ago, when I was chairman of the Fair Recreation Board, that you have an absolute beautiful location, probably one of the prettiest locations in the state of Nevada where you put your town. So why don't you make your town look as beautiful as your location? Well, I think it's about time. Our town is going downhill for the lack of encouragement. And the encouragement there isn't the businesses coming in, we have empty buildings, we have people that own properties on the main drag that won't even cut the weeds down because they don't live there and they don't care. So somehow or another, I believe it's the responsibility of the city to do something to encourage this community and as a board, having some funds to go out and do something for the community that would be very beneficial and encourage maybe new businesses, maybe new tenants in these vacant buildings and whatnot, and be proud of our community. Unfortunately, there isn't too many areas within the city that you can gain these kind of monies to do these kind of projects. The state law allows us, as a city, to acquire funds from the Fair Board to accomplish some of the needs that we need within this community. Having been the chairman of the